Hello and a good evening to you. It is Petrie here with you until 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. And of course, the phone in is coming up at midnight. Also at 11 o'clock, we have Ed Wiseman in the studio, who is going to be taking us through the front pages of the papers and some of the stories that we missed today. Now, though, it is time to get some film news and reviews with Van Connor, our film critic. Van, good evening to you.
Good evening, Petrie. There is nowhere else I'd rather be. How you doing?
Well, that's sad. It's good to see you. Let's start with your reviews first, just so we've got time to make sure that we get those clips out. The Inventor you've got here is your first one. What's this about? I don't know this film. So
this is actually a biographical stop-motion animated film. It's a US, Irish, French co-production. It's about the life of Leonardo da Vinci.
Ooh.
And he is voiced in this form by Stephen Fry, no less. Under the auspices of an over-controlling Pope, voiced by Matt Berry from What We Do in the Shadows. And his great love interest has got vocal talents of Daisy Ridley, providing it's a story of how he went to France. He escaped the overly controlling eye of the Pope, wasn't allowed to explore his science of the spirit of the human body and things like that because it was blasphemy at the time. All done in stop motion animation. Again, to remind you, goes to France and finds his niche as well as his great true love in the final years of his life. Like I say, Stephen Fry providing the voice. It's cute as all hell, but it's also really informative. It has its issues, but I really fell for this. I'll give you a sample of the clip, so you know what you're in for. But Stephen Fry's Da Vinci, what's not to love?
Now, the world has never been easy, even for those with a rather big brain.
He's crazy!
There will always be nonsensical naysayers on an anti-adventure campaign.
Why can't you just be satisfied with painting pretty things?
Oh, not this again.
Cheer up, Maestro. We will help you.
So I set off to prove my point.
Creating a city of ideas is so extraordinary.
With friends along for the ride. On the road to fortune and fame. And an adventure full of pride.
Oh, shoot.
It's funny because Sam just said, Sam's a dad now, and he just said this is like horrible histories almost. You get sucked into learning accidentally about a historical figure.
You know, I'm kind of on that train. Like, I have a 5-year-old nephew. This is the kind of thing that I would love to watch with him. However, I think it's held back. It's a wonderful film. It's a really wonderful film. But it is held back at about the 95% marker by this occasional need to, draw it back and suck it into needless, child-friendly slapstick that kind of kills the tone. And up to that, you think, kids were getting on with this. What are you doing?
But this is a kids' film, is it?
It works for everyone.
Right.
It's a wonderful animated film that you could see this a year from now turning up Oscar category best animated feature. But those child-friendly slapstick moments really do draw it back. It's like when Home Alone goes too cartoony.
Yeah.
You're like, you were doing well enough. Why did you feel the need to add this? The voice talents obviously are incredible. I mean, Stephen Fry as Da Vinci is borderline inspired casting, obviously. Matt Berry as Pope Leo X, chef's kiss. You've got my money. Wow. You just bum on seat. You've got me here. I'm here for the 2 hours. Enjoy. Yeah. And but unfortunately, it is those moments. Those are the only moments. This is a great movie. I really loved it. I will watch this over and over, but I'm going to cringe every single time they do that childish need for characters to just slap each other and headbutt each other. Why are you doing this? No 4-year-old is paying attention at this point. Just commit to the bit.
Well, because you said it, I will watch it, although I wouldn't have done originally. Ricky Stanicky. What's this about?
Well, I'll be really honest, Petrie. I think you'd have gone for this just based on the trailer, to be honest.
Really?
So, Zac Efron and two of his mates are, they're like, 30-ish guys who, when they were children, invented a fake friend, a fake fourth friend that they could invent. They could heap all of their misdeeds onto. They could blame for all their misdeeds. They're now in their sort of 30s, as I say, and they use this same invented friend for whenever they need to get out of like a weekend, like with the family, or like a night with the wives, things like that. So I want to go away and see this gig. Ricky has cancer treatment. We'll go and like be by his bedside. And of course they get called on it when they miss like a childbirth. So they have to hire an actor to play this invented friend. They hire like an alcoholic, I'm going to politely say like pornographic rock covers artist, played by John Cena. Not John Cena, as Jonathan Ross would say, according to the Oscars, but John Cena, to be said invented friend. So I've got a clip for you. This is John Cena.
He who we've just seen naked at the Oscars.
The naked man from the Oscars.
Right.
The very naked man from the Oscars, Petrie. Focus on the priorities.
I didn't notice.
Naturally. No, focus on the priorities. But here he is, turning up to a bris as Ricky Stanicky.
Why are you grilling my mom? She's not on trial.
Because I want you to admit that Ricky Stanicky does not exist.
Hey, mush puka! Let's get down to business. Oh, yes! Yes! Made it!
Boys are back!
Yes! All right. Jackie!
Ricky?
Oh, you look unbelievable.
Oh.
You're still a MILF.
Oh my God. Look at you. Oh, you haven't changed a bit.
The mystery man in the flesh.
Well, churn my butter with a slippery stick. I finally get to meet Aaron Harford. You're even more beautiful in person than the pictures Dean's always sending me.
You sent him pictures of me?
Oh, tasteful, of course. Even the nudes.
Even the nudes.
Even the nudes.
I mean, this sounds fun. It sounds like it would be fun, but it would be a film that I would watch while I was doing my tax returns, perhaps.
To be fair, you're pretty much on the money there, Petrie. It's very formulaic, but it's formulaic to about 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of film they don't necessarily make anymore, like an R-rated bro comedy. Like, this is, I mean, it's directed by Peter Farrelly, who's, one of the Farrelly brothers. He gave us Dumb and Dumber and Something About Mary.
Oh, right, that
and
makes
this
sense.
kind of fits into that mold. Like, this is not necessarily the same Peter Farrelly who directed, Green Book, that won Best Picture like 4 years ago. Not that guy. This is him back on his B word. You know what I mean? I've just triggered the Apple thing. Sorry about that. But yeah, one of those things. It's very formulaic, but you know what? It's a nice old school throwback.
Yeah.
You're not gonna want much more from that from an Amazon Prime movie that like clocks in like 100 minutes that you're getting with your £95 a year free shipping subscription.
Yeah, they are a bit ropey, the Amazon Prime
Yeah.
films. I have to be honest with you, but like you said, you get it. You get it for free with your free shipping.
You're getting a free shipping, it's what it is.
That's what I paid for, and so occasionally I'll find something on Amazon Prime that I quite enjoy. But this one, while I'm doing something else more boring, would be great. We just mentioned the Oscars there. This is an enormous viewing figure. I had no idea it was so big.
Well, I mean, 19.5 million people watched the Oscars on Sunday night. I have to imagine at least 2.5 million were, like myself, entertainment correspondents who had to watch it and
who had no
comment
choice.
on it.
Yeah,
I had the weirdest experience, which is I was watching it through ITV. So I had Jonathan Ross presenting on ITV, and then I was going on radio to talk to Paul Ross, which was even the most weird thing.
Yeah,
whilst talking to producer Kane and my friend Case.
Oh,
so it was a very weird night for me. But I think 19.5 million people, that's the highest they've had since 2020. And, 2021 was the lowest they'd had, I think, in 10 years. Wow. And then, post that, we had the slap. So people were tuning in the year after the slap because they were really hoping that, someone would deck Sterling K. Brown or something like that. I don't know what they were expecting.
Or Will Smith would try to get in, which he's not allowed to.
Will Smith's going to have his revenge.
He's not allowed in for 10 years, is he? He's banned.
He's
10
not.
years,
But to be fair, To be fair, Will Smith's like cinematic batting average necessitates that he probably is not going to be needed back at the the Academy for like 10 years.
Yeah,
because he works in cycles, so 10 years is about the right time. Yeah. Although I will point it out, right? He had the slap one year. The following year is the year in which Will Smith delivered the movie, which I think arguably would have given him his like second year on the trot, like Tom Hanks early 90s style Emancipation, which was a great movie. And if it hadn't been for the slap, he would have been nominated. Will Smith would have been nominated for Best Actor. I guarantee you, if that had been a thing, if it hadn't been for the slap, Will Smith would have been nominated for Best Supporting.
Yeah, because that film was just completely just thrown away because people didn't really want any bar of it, did they?
I know, and it was the fugitive with slavery. I mean, it's everything the Academy loves.
Would have loved it, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Holdovers. There's some controversy now about the screenplay.
There is some controversy, and I'm heartbroken myself. I loved The Holdovers. But Simon Stevenson, who's one of the credited screenwriters of Paddington 2, has filed a lawsuit, and he's alleged that they've plagiarized his script. And as a result of this lawsuit, and you can go online and look this up yourself, because the actual lawsuit is available to read, they actually compare the two screenplays, point for point. And it's pretty damning evidence that.
But you're not saying The Holdovers is the same as Paddington 2?
What? No, it's not the same as Paddington 2. It's not. No.
I was getting confused there.
I mean, to be fair, there's enough difference just being live action, like having a CG bear.
I would have thought.
I feel like you'd get away with it, but to be fair, I need to start. How do I turn off this Apple thing? I don't know.
That's right, I quite like it.
But it's animating me rather nicely. But no, apparently it's a script called Fiasco that Simon Stevenson, the Paddington 2 writer, had written, and it basically, his was a doctor taking a patient out for Christmas, whereas The Holdovers is like a school teacher forced to take out the boarding school kid and they are so similar that the points just really line up. I'm sure it's a galactic coincidence. I'm not here to cast judgment. It might be a galactic coincidence.
But there's no such thing as an original idea, is there? I mean, you can't patent an idea. So it is possible that somebody wrote very similar scripts at the same time.
It's possible, and this is why I exclusively date women that like Velma from Scooby-Doo. It's not a coincidence, it's just an archetype.
Exactly that. Because he may just have it could happen, right?
It could, technically. We'll let it go. It's Timothy and the Dinosaurus Land.
Yeah.
We're just gonna let everyone have their moments and see what happens with that one.
I think we just keep out of it, Van. I just think we let them fight it out, and you and I just
if
keep
not
out of
one guy but two was willing to cook up a script as good as The Holdovers, that's a sign that film is not dead.
Yeah.
Like cinema is alive and well. The Holdovers was not a one-off. We're getting two of them. I'm good with that.
Yeah, fine. That's great. If it's a good story, it's worth telling twice, right? It works.
Exactly that.
Van, thank you. It's been great talking to you. Lovely to see you. We must get you in the studio again soon. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Van Connor, film critic there. So The Inventor and Ricky Stanicky are the films that he reviewed for us today.